Nernst equation. Yes, what is this equation? Nernst equation gives the relation between the cell potential, voltage of the cell, to the concentration. So according to the Nernst, what they given, E cell, EMF of the cell, voltage of the cell, total voltage that the cell can provide, E cell is equal to E naught of cell, that is standard electrode potential of the cell, minus 0.059 by N log QC. So this equation we call it as what? Nernst equation, where E cell is the EMF of the cell, E naught cell is the standard EMF of the cell, and QC is reaction quotient. You know, chemical equilibrium we discussed, QC KC. So this is reaction quotient. So that is equal to concentrations of products by concentrations of reactants at any instant of time. That ratio we call it as what? Reaction quotient. How you will get this? So by using Van Hoff's thermal Gibbs-Halmers equation only we can calculate it. So what is that? That is according to Gibbs-Halmers equation, del G is equal to del G naught plus 2.303 RT log QC. Okay, now since we know that, here one relation we should know, del G is equal to minus NF E cell. Del G is equal to minus NF E cell. Del G naught is equal to minus NF E naught cell. Okay, just substitute that above. Del G means minus NF E cell is equal to minus NF E naught cell plus 2.303 RT log QC. You divide all the three terms with minus NF. So minus NF cancel. So finally E cell is equal to E naught of cell minus 2.303 RT by NF log QC. If you substitute the R value, temperature value and F Faraday's value, finally we will get E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 by N log QC. So this equation we call it as Nernst equation. And in order to calculate the Nernst equation, okay, you just follow these three steps. If you follow these three steps, you can easily calculate the E cell of the EMF of the any cell. First step, calculation of how to calculate E cell. First step, write the anodic reaction, cathodic reaction first. Okay, write anodic reaction and cathodic reaction. And after you write the anodic reaction is oxidation reaction, cathodic reaction is reduction reaction. After you write the anodic reaction and the cathodic reaction, next balance the electrons. Balance the electrons in both half cells. After you balance that, immediately addition of both. Addition of two half cells. After you balance the electrons, just add both. And after that, calculate QC of the above cell. After you add this, just calculate the QC and then apply Nernst equation. These are the three steps. If you follow these three steps, then you feel very comfortable to calculate the E cell. First write the anodic cell, cathodic cell, balance the electrons, then add the both half cells. And after you add this, calculate the QC of the overall cell and then apply Nernst equation. Okay, so these are the three steps. Next, move to the cationic reaction. Applications, if you take applications of this Nernst equation, in case of cationic reaction or cathodic reaction. So always Nernst, as per the IUPAC, SRP values they consider as what? Electrode potentials. So I am going to calculate the SRP values only, not SOP value. SRP means reduction process. So in cationic reaction, what is the reaction takes place? Generally M plus N charge containing metals will gain electrons and they becomes a metal solid usually. So M plus means its concentration is C, you consider. So M plus N ions gaining N electrons undergoing reduction into solid metal. For this, how you will write? E cell is equal to E naught of cell minus 0.059 by N log QC. QC means product concentration by reactant. Here product is what? Solid. For pure solids concentration is 1. So 1 by concentration of metal ions 1 C. 1 by C. If you reverse, then E cell is equal to E naught of cell plus 0.059, you can write it as 0.06, no problem, 0.06 by N log C. So by using this formula, you can calculate the cationic EMF of the cell. Next, anionic reaction. Anionic reaction means here reduction only should take place. Anion means you don't think that oxidation takes place. Reduction only. I am writing here. A is an anion, is a metal, gains N electrons and they becomes what? N minus N. Got it. Reduction takes place. This is the anionic reaction, right? Yes, how you will write? E cell is equal to E naught of cell minus 0.06 by N log. Now tell me, product is what? Concentration C, na? Anions. And reactant is solid. So C by 1. So log C will come. So this is the formula for anionic reaction. So see, here plus will come, here minus will come. So people will generally feel confused here. That is why I am mentioning that point. And third one, in case of hydrogen electrode. So reduction process in hydrogen electrode, how you will write? What do you think? So just consider 2 H plus ions gaining 2 electrons gives what? H2 gas. H plus ions means concentration C and H2 means gas. Gas means whose pressure we should mention. Pressure P atmospheres. So let us consider, for this is a reduction process only. Observe. So write that, calculate. E cell is equal to E naught of cell minus 0.06 by N. N means what is the N value here? 2 electrons. No? So 2 log product. Here product is what? Gas. For gases pressures we should take. So pressure of hydrogen by concentration of H plus square. Why? Because coefficient is 2. So if you, and E naught of cell for standard hydrogen electrode, what is the E naught value? 0 volts. We know that. Just substitute that. Then E cell is equal to 0 value, no need to represent, minus 0.03, or else you keep as it is, 0.059 by 2 log. What is the pressure of hydrogen? In hydrogen electrode, I told you the pressure of hydrogen is 1 atmosphere. So 1 by H plus concentration square. So you can write this as H plus concentration. If you bring to numerator, H plus concentration minus 2. You bring minus 2 to numerator, minus 2 to cancel, will be what? Positive. So E cell is equal to 0.059 into log H plus concentration. But minus log of H plus concentration is what? pH. Na? So you can write this as E cell is equal to minus 0.058 into pH. Directly remember this formula. No need to solve this one. Directly, if you multiply the pH with, they given you the pH of the solution and what is the EMF of the hydrogen electrode cell, then what is the formula? Multiply with the 0.059. That's it. Minus 0.059 into pH. This is what? SRP. Suppose SOP if they ask you, then how to calculate? E cell is equal to 0.059 into its pH. That's it. In this Nernst equation only, sometimes they may ask you the relations. By giving the QC or KC value, they may ask you del G value and del G naught value. And they may give you del G naught value and ask you Kc value, and they will give you Kc value and ask you the EMF of the cell. So what is the relations? Let us see. So the relation between del G naught versus Kc, del G naught versus Kc. As we know, let us take an example equation, that is what del G is equal to del G naught plus 2.303 RT log QC. That we know that gives Helmholtz equation. Now at equilibrium, because he is asking Kc is possible only at equilibrium. That is why at equilibrium del G value is equal to 0, no? Okay, and QC value is equal to Kc. If we substitute that 0, then del G naught is equal to, bring this to this side, minus 2.303 RT log Kc. So by using this formula, you can calculate del G naught from Kc. If you modify from del G naught Kc value also, you can easily calculate. This is the one relation. And one more thing, relation between E cell, E naught of cell and Kc, E naught of cell and Kc. Okay, from the above, what is the relation to the del G naught? Del G naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log Kc. This is the equation number 1. And one more formula, del G naught is equal to minus NF E naught of cell. That is the second equation, we know that. Now equation left, LHS are equal, now you equate RHS, minus minus cancel. So what is remaining? NF E naught of cell is equal to 2.303 RT log Kc. Now bring NF to this side, then E naught of cell is equal to 2.303 RT by NF log Kc. If we substitute R value, T value and F value, finally E naught of cell is equal to 0.059 by N log Kc. This is one more formula. Just remember these two formulas. From these two formulas, was a more possibility of asking the questions for upcoming NEET examination. So this is about the Nernst equation. And after the Nernst equation, let us discuss concentration cells. Concentration cells. What are concentration cells? Concentration cells are nothing but the cells which generate the EMF due to difference in the concentrations of either electrode or electrolyte. Due to difference in the concentrations of either electrode or electrolyte, then those cells we call as concentration cells. So the cells which generate EMF due to difference in concentrations of either electrodes or electrolytes is called concentration cells. And these concentration cells, again, we are based upon electrode or electrolyte differences. Concentration cells we are dividing into two types. One is electrolytic concentration cell, and the second one is electrode concentration cell. Electrolytic concentration cell, electrode concentration cell. So in this already we mean electrolytic concentration cell. That means here the cell which is made up with the same electrode, same electrolyte, same substance, electrolyte of the same substance, but with at different concentrations. Okay, so for example, I just give an example. Here electrode, here electrodes are of same substance, but electrolyte is also same substance but different concentrations. But they are at different concentrations. I just give an example. See that zinc Zn plus 2 C1 Zn plus 2 C2 zinc. What do you observe from this? This is electrode and this is electrode. Both electrodes are same, zinc electrodes only. And this, even electrolytes also same. But here this is at C1 concentration, this is at C2 concentration. And one more example, if you take platinum, hydrogen at P1 atmosphere. Sorry, you can use this at a second one, no problem. Just remember this. Okay, here the cell is made up with the same electrodes, but electrolytes are at different concentrations, C1 and C2. Sometimes they may give you this question and ask you whether the given reaction is spontaneous or not. So there was a simple hint, no need of solvation of all. So the simple hint. What is a simple hint? Hint is if C2 is greater than C1, the concentration of the reduction half cell is greater than C1, then no doubt the reaction is spontaneous. If C2 is greater than C1, then the reaction is spontaneous. If C2 is lesser than C1, then that is what? Non-spontaneous. Simple, by using this hint, you can directly say that whether it is a spontaneous or not. Next, coming to the electrode concentration cell. Here, electrode concentration cells means here electrodes are same substance but at different concentrations. Here electrodes are different but electrolytes are same. Electrolytic solutions are same. Okay, best example, if you take platinum, hydrogen at P1 atmosphere, HCl, aqueous, hydrogen at P2 atmosphere, platinum. What do you observe from here? See that these are the two electrodes. Here solution, electrolytic solution is the same, but electrodes are different. This is at P1 atmosphere, this is at P2 atmosphere. This is a clear example for electrode concentration cell. In case of electrode concentration cell, what is the formula here? So that is what, how you will write this? The formula is, here EMF formula, here E cell is equal for electrolytic concentration cell 0.059 by N log C2 by C1. Log C2 by C1. By using this formula you can calculate EMF of electrolytic cell. In case of electrode, E cell is equal to 0.059 by N log P1 by P2. Log P1 by P2. So by using this formula you can calculate EMF of electrode concentration cell. So with this thing you clear about the concentration cells. Concentration cells are two types: electrolytic concentration cells and electrode concentration cells. Okay. Now in this part of video we are going to discuss what is the conductance, what is the resistance, specific conductance, specific resistance, molar conductance, equivalent conductance. So this is and what are the factors which are influencing the conductances of different. I think this is one of the most important topic in this electrochemistry. From this, one or two questions we can expect. Okay, let us see. So let us start with Ohm's law. I think you are familiar to this Ohm's law. You got this in the physics also. Yes, Ohm's law. I just remember the Ohm's law with my name, I, Venkatrao. Simply, I is equal to V by R. I is equal to V by R. So what is I here? Current is directly proportional to potential difference, inversely proportional to resistance. So I is directly proportional to V, inversely proportional to resistance. From that Ohm's law, I in control. I is equal to VR. So from this we can write V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. Next one, resistance. Resistance. What is the resistance? Resistance we represent with R. R. What is the resistance? It is a characteristics of a substance to oppose the conductancy of the electricity through it. It opposes. Resistancy of a substance to resist the conductivity of electricity to pass through them. That property we call it as resistance. Remember that resistance power is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to A. So from that what we can write? Resistance is proportional to L by A, area of cross section. If we remove this proportionality, resistance R is equal to specific resistance into L by A. Remember this formula, very important. Resistance is equal to, where R is equal to resistance, rho is equal to specific resistance, and the ratio between length to the area of cross section, this is what we call as cell constant. Cell constant we represent with the G star. And what are the units of resistance? Units of resistance. Resistance units are what? Ohms. Okay, resistance we are represented with ohms. Clear? Next we move to the next specific resistance. Specific resistance. Specific resistance we represent with rho. Already we discussed. So what they tell? Specific resistance is equal to specific resistance into L by A. So how you can define the specific resistance? Let us consider resistance is nothing but specific resistance when the length is 1 centimeter and the area of cross section is 1 centimeter square. 1 cancel. R is equal to rho now. So specific resistance is nothing but the resistance when the length is 1 centimeter and its area of cross section is 1 centimeter square. Okay, so the units of this resistance, specific resistance is ohm centimeter or ohm meter. Ohm centimeter or ohm meter. Remember that 1 ohm meter is equal to 100 ohm centimeters, or else 1 ohm centimeter is equal to 0.01 ohm meters. So remember this interconversion. That is about the specific resistance. Resistance is specific resistance. Both are finished. Next, move to the conductance. Conductance we represent with G. Conductance we represent with G. What is the conductance? It is nothing but it's a reciprocal of resistance. So G is equal to 1 by R. So now we know that what is R? R is nothing but rho into L by A. Okay, so from that what you can write now? So it is nothing but G is equal to 1 by rho into 1 by L by A. 1 by rho is nothing but the reciprocal of specific resistance is nothing but the specific conductance. So in the place of this, what I am writing, G is equal to specific resistance we represent with K. K means kappa. Kappa means specific conductance. So G conductance is equal to specific conductance into 1 by L by A. Now we bring 1 by L by A to this side. Then what we can write? Specific conductance K is equal to conductance into L by A. Conductance into L by A. From that what we can write? Specific conductance K is equal to conductance into cell constant. Cell constant. So that is the relation between the specific conductance and the conductance. But in case of resistance, resistance is equal to specific resistance into cell constant. But in case of conductance, specific conductance is equal to conductance into cell constant. There was a difference, no? You find out the difference between both. Next, units, if you say conductance units, it's the reverse of resistance, no? What is the units of resistance? Ohms. Reverse of ohms means ohm inverse. Ohm inverse. Also we call it as Simon. Simon represented with S. Ohm inverse or Simons are the units of conductance. Next, move to the types of conductance. Types of conductance. So conductance we know this is a reciprocal of resistance. Now types of conductance. Like this, how many conductances are there? There was 3 types of conductances are there. 3 types. One is specific conductance. Specific conductance. The second one is molar conductance. molar conductance. Third one is equivalent conductance. Equivalent conductance. See, specific conductance, I already told you, we represent with the K. K means kappa. And the molar conductance we represent with the cap M, lambda M, cap M. And equivalent conductance we represent with the cap EQ. So that is a representation of this. Yes, let us discuss one by one. First one is what? Specific conductance. Specific conductance represented with what? K. So as we know, the relation between the specific conductance and the conductance already we know. What is that? Specific conductance K is equal to conductance G into cell constant L by A. Already we know the specific conductance is equal to conductance into L by A. Suppose if length is 1 centimeter, area is 1 centimeter square, then what will be 1 by 1 is equal to K is equal to G. Na? So specific conductance is nothing but the conductance shown by the ions present in 1 centimeter cube volume of the solution. Okay, it is shown by the 1 centimeter cube volume of the solution, and then that conductance will be called as what? Specific conductance. Here one important point, units is very important. Units. So specific conductance, units of specific conductance if you take is, this is what? Centimeter, this is centimeter square. If you bring this to numerator, it will be centimeter inverse. So the units will be, units of K is ohm inverse centimeter inverse, or ohm inverse meter inverse, or Simon centimeter inverse, or Simon meter inverse. So any one of these you can use. And one more thing, what is the relation between Simon centimeter inverse and Simon meter inverse? You can easily convert meters to centimeters, centimeters to meters. It's not a problem at all. So specific conductance. Next one, molar conductance. The second type of conductance is molar conductance. We represent with the cap M. Cap M. Simply, it is nothing but the conductance is shown by 1 mole of ions. 1 mole, specifically how many moles? 1 mole of ions which are present between the 1 centimeter length of electrodes and 1 centimeter square area of electrodes, cross section. Then that conductance will be called as molar conductance. See, in the name it's molar. How many of ions we need to consider? 1 mole of ions only we need to consider. And so the units of this one, is units only important in the relation. Units is equal to ohm inverse centimeter square mole inverse. Ohm inverse centimeter square mole inverse, or ohm inverse meter square mole inverse, or Simon centimeter square mole inverse, or Simon meter square mole inverse. So these are the units. And one thing, relation between them, Simon meter square mole inverse is equal to how many Simon centimeter square? So that is equal to 10 power 4 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Simple, 10 power 4. Why? Because 1 meter is equal to 10 square, 100 centimeters. So 10 power 4 Simon centimeters. So similarly, Simon centimeter square mole inverse is equal to 10 power minus 4 Simon meter square. Simply you can easily convert from Simon meters to centimeter square mole inverse to Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Now the relation we should put, this relation is very important. The relation between molar conductancy versus specific conductancy. Okay, see, the molar conductancy cap M is equal to specific conductancy into 1000 by molarity. Molarity, where specific conductance, here units very important. Suppose if the specific conductancy they given in Simon centimeter inverse, so the molar conductance we will get it in Simon centimeter square mole inverse only. Okay, so this we will get in Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Suppose if they given Simon meter inverse, so first you should calculate this in Simon meter square mole inverse, then you should convert them into Simon centimeter square mole inverse. This unit conversion is very important. So first check the specific conductance. In which units they given specific conductance? Because if they given Simon centimeter inverse, you calculate the molar conductance in centimeter square mole inverse. If they given the options in meter square, you just convert. Equivalent conductance. Equivalent conductance. And this equivalent conductance will represent the cap EQ. Cap EQ. What is that? It is the conductancy shown by the ions present. 1 gram equivalent of ions present in 1 centimeter cube area of the solution. We call it as what? Equivalent conductance. Here the units is equal to ohm inverse centimeter square equivalent inverse. Same in the place of mole equivalent will come here. That is ohm inverse meter square equivalent inverse. Or else Simon centimeter square equivalent inverse, or Simon meter square equivalent inverse. Same as like. And what is the relation between them? So equivalent conductance is equal to specific conductancy into 1000 by normality. So again the same logic what you follow in molar conductancy, here also you should follow. Units conversion. So this is the equivalent conductance. And the next one, factors. What are the factors on which the conductancy depends? So if you take the factors, the first one is it depends upon nature of substance. Nature of substance. How the nature of substance depends? As we know, substances are of two types, strong and weak. Strong means more number of dissociation, more number of ions will produces. Weak means less dissociation, less number of ions produces. If the number of ions are less, automatically their conductance is less. Simple logic. So it depends upon nature of the substance. Next one, it depends upon nature of solvent. Nature of solvent. And it is also depends upon viscosity of solvent. And it is also depends upon dielectric constant. Dielectric constant of solvent. And it is also depends upon temperature. And it also depends upon concentration. So these are all the factors on which the conductancy depends. Okay, so in that the main concentration, if you see, concentration, effect of concentration. Effect of concentration. Yes, what is the effect of concentration on different conductances if you see? Suppose you see if the concentration increases, specific conductancy will increase. Specific conductancy alone increases, whereas molar conductancy and equivalent conductancies will decreases. Very important. If the concentration increases, specific conductancy increases. Why? Because if the concentration increases, the number of ions present in the unit volume will increase. Automatically the conductancy increases. But molar conductancy and equivalent conductancy decreases. Why? Because the concentration increases within a unit area, number of ions will be more. If the number of ions are more, then their ionic interactions are generating. Ionic interactions are generated. Because of formation of the ionic interactions, this ion cannot easily move. So there was a reason here. What is the reason mainly behind the increase in the specific conductancy? Here by increasing the concentration, specific conductancy increase because of increasing the number of ions. It was clear cut idea. But what about the reason behind the decrease in the molar and equivalent conductance? Two reasons are there. Reason number one is that is increasing the intermolecular attractive forces. If the number of ions are increasing, they come close to each other. If they come close to each other between the ions, what happens? Intermolecular attractions to generate. Because of increasing the intermolecular attractions, the ionic mobility decreases. So because of that reason, the both molar conductance and equivalent conductance decreases by increasing the concentration, whereas specific conductances will increase. Clear? Next one, effect of dilution. Effect of dilution. Dilution means what? Addition of water. On addition of water, what happens? The concentration decreases. So here, clear cut. On dilution, Tell me what happened to the specific conductance? Specific conductance is decreases because number of ions increases, na? Whereas molar conductancy and the equivalent conductances both will increases. On dilution means concentration decreases. Concentration decreases means what happens? Molar and equivalent conductances will increases. Okay, so increases. So the molar conductances and the equivalent conductances at infinite dilution is called limiting molar or equivalent conductance. Limiting molar or equivalent conductance, that is we represent it with limiting molar conductance means cap naught. So limiting molar conductance means cap naught m, and limiting equivalent conductance means cap naught equivalent. So the molar conductancy or equivalent conductance at infinite dilution, it will be maximum. At infinite dilution, at a very low concentration, its conductance is maximum, and that conductance we call as limiting molar conductances or limiting equivalent conductances. Okay, so this is about the effect of dilution on conductances. And next one, temperature. If you take effect of temperature, you take any conductancy, whether it is a specific conductancy, molar conductancy, or equivalent conductances, all conductances, conductance I am representing with G. All conductances are directly proportional to temperature. Okay, all are directly proportional to temperature. And the fourth one, here you should know Debye-Huckel-Ansager equation. Debye-Huckel-Ansager equation. It gives the relation between cap C versus cap naught. Cap C versus cap naught. What they told. Cap C means conductancy, molar or equivalent conductancy at particular concentration is cap C. Equivalent conductancy at infinite dilution is cap naught. What is the relation they given? They given that cap C is equal to cap naught minus B root C. Cap C is equal to equivalent conductancy at a specific concentration. Cap C is equal to cap naught minus B root C. Here B, what is a B? What is C? Is nothing but concentration. And B is a constant, unstaggered constant. What is that? Given a constant B is equal to 82.4 rho and dt to the power of 1 by 2 minus 8.2 into 10 power 5 by dt to the power of 3 by 2 into cap naught. So that value they considered as what? Constant. Instead of writing this all, so here this is a coefficient of viscosity. Directory constant, temperature. So it depends upon directory constant, temperature, viscosity. That is why these all factors they give it. And when they draw the graph, suppose if they draw graph between cap C and cap naught, tell me what is the slope of the graph? So it's like what? Y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, what is the slope here? Minus b is the slope. So on the intercept is like this. So intercept is cap naught and the slope is minus b. With a negative slope we get. This is what Debye-Huckel-Ansager equation. In the next video we will discuss what is Kohl-Rausch law and applications of Kohl-Rausch law. And after the Kohl-Rausch law and applications of Kohl-Rausch law we will discuss electrolysis. Faraday's first law, second law, and thereafter batteries we will discuss. Okay.